decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
Man, what is up, y'all? Happy Sunday and stuff like that there. Hold on, let me put this joint up. Got my donation thing going on right there. Hey, what's up, folks? And welcome to the Big Boneyard on this happy Sunday night. Hey, Miss Sanders, good to see you, ma'am, always. Miami. Douche, I see you riding there with us. Clinton Long, SNS. It's good to see all of y'all. And again, happy Sunday to everybody out there riding through on the Big Boneyard. And so you got myself, Big Bone 1%er, as per usual. And hold on, let me do that. I just learned I could mix it up a little bit, but hey. And along with that, we got my man Tate from A-Bay. What's up, Tate?
Long weekend.
Here's the thing, right? I want to, and ordinarily I'm going to be nosy and be like, because I always want to know how everybody's weekend is and things like that. And I want to ask you, but I feel like it's kind of sort of like I'm taking a shot at you if I do it, but I can't help it. And by the way, you got to post pictures, post pictures in the chat about that, or in the on the Big Boneyard. But how was your weekend, man? See, I know something y'all don't know. How was your weekend, man?
So it was good until the ride home. Get an hour and a half. Yeah, the ride home sucked.
Wait, where were you riding from?
Panama City.
Oh,
Thunder Beach.
Thunder Beach. Okay, right on. That's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah, well, when you're an hour and a half from home, you ride 5.5 hours, spend the weekend, have fun. Hour and a half from home, your fucking drive belt starts spitting fucking teeth at you. You ain't got no power on the bike. It's like, well, fuck.
That ain't no fun because that's not so it was the drive belt for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I was picking up ribs off the ground.
See, that ain't no fun at all.
No, $550 just in parts.
I
can't get them for a week from Tuesday, so that's killing me.
And look, brother, I've been having some motorcycle issues as of late, my damn self. Anubis is she's been taking me through it, or he been taking me through it. Anubis, that's my Harley, y'all. Anubis has been catching hell. Big Blue gave me a fake heart attack, just cut the hell off. Was it yesterday? It's Saturday. Yeah, that was yesterday. Friday. I'm saying it wrong. Friday, just on the way back to the crib and just cut off at a stoplight. I'm like, what the hell? I'm thinking it must be something serious. Must be, oh man, what the hell? It's battery just went dead, and it has like this special BMS battery management system, which is like AI for motorcycles. So it kills everything to keep you from hurting yourself and or the bike, and it's like a whole thing. Anyway, all I had to do, charge the battery, good as new. That thing's freaking bulletproof.
Now the ABS makes sense, but the only time I've ever had that issue, knock on wood, my stator was going.
Oh, you mean the BMS, the ABS? That's on Anubis. Anubis has all kinds of issues that are getting fixed as we speak. But on the BMS battery management system, that was on Big Blue, aka Marine One. That's the Raider. But yeah, it turns out it was just the battery was dead. It was too low to charge some shit. But anyway, charge that bad boy up and just just good as new. But that bike is sure as death and taxes.
I mean,
speaking of which, matter of fact, I'm just curious, man. Folks out there, so Douche, what kind of bike do you ride? Like, and Douche, SNS. What motorcycle do
you know what,
ride?
Douche? Keep that shit down, because it's the only major issue I've had.
Hold on, wait a minute. What does he say? Deuce says Tate has no problems with his Japanese cruiser. Okay, that was like a. Where's that? There you go. I knew there was a button for that. Like Deuce said, Tate has no problems with his Japanese cruiser. Yeah, that's better. See, I gotta get. All right, I'm gonna work on the button pushing. It's like you got one job. You got one job is to push the button, and you can't get that right.
I mean, dude, if you're willing to donate a 2020 Road Glide, blacked out, no crow whatsoever, I'll give you my number. I'll tell you where to deliver it. I won't ask any questions. I just want to be able to get a tag for it. It could be hot. I don't give a fuck. I'll change the fucking. Allegedly, I'll change.
Right.
I'll take it and get it re-VINed from the DMV.
Hey, what's up, Pastor Troy? Mike House, I see you. What's up, man? Hey, but I tell you what, speaking of asking no questions, this is a great time to go ahead and do our disclaimer, which is, Tate, if you can help me with the disclaimer, what are we disclaiming about?
So the thoughts and comments on this podcast are those of ours and ours alone. They do not construe our particular clubs or organizations. We reflect our particular organizations or clubs we may be affiliated with or members of. That being said, everything is our opinions and our opinions alone. Take that as you wish. You know, something I say you don't like, get at me. Don't get a day bait.
Right, that part. What he said. Hold on, let me... See, I'm going to learn how to push these buttons at the appropriate time. But very well said, sir. Thank you.
I mean, I could ask Miami. She'll tell me you know how to push the right buttons all the time. So if we have Miami stand in front of it, you'll always get the buttons right.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with that. Hey, I'll tell you what. So tonight's show is actually it's kind of interesting. So here's the thing. We were talking about last week. We mentioned international, or I think we mentioned it last week. I know it's on the Big Boneyard on the Facebook page. But women is Miami. Here we go, Miami again. As Miami says, women. That's, she says I think about that too much. But seriously, women's internet or the International All-Female Ride Day was yesterday, and what that is, it's been going on since 2007. They've been doing a Bessie Stringfield ride longer than that. So every year, to honor Bessie Stringfield, all these women in different parts of the country would get together, and then some pseudo-conservative types got involved, and the name had to change. So instead of naming it after this little black girl who did some incredible things, it's now called the International All-Female Ride Day. But it's still same idea. All over the country where all women get together. And the way I understand, sometimes they will have a guy who ride with them, but he's there to be seen and not heard. He's there to fix a flat. He's there to put the bike on a trailer if it needs security. He's there to, security. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe they'll have a husband or boyfriend or somebody show up for security because, you get a bunch of women together. Some knuckleheads are going to come out of the woodwork. And a lot of these women, of course, they can handle themselves. But a lot of times, when they do have a guy, he knows his role, So this is one of those few times where women get together, they congregate, they express and enjoy sisterhood with each other and everything. But anyway, so in the spirit of that, so here's what tonight's description. If you're not watching from YouTube, which by the way, check us out. If you're watching from YouTube, great. If you're not, help us out with the algorithm and check us out on YouTube as opposed to just Facebook. Not a problem. Always a good thing. Helps out with the numbers and all like that. Next thing, here I go with all these instructions. If you're here visiting with us, take a minute, hit the like button. And if you know somebody who would enjoy this content, definitely share it with them so they can check it out. What's up, Amber? We see you there. RGS. Okay, right on. But here's tonight's description. It says, the first motorcycle club, this is good information too, by the way. The first motorcycle club in the United States started in 1903 in Yonkers, New York. It was actually called the Yonkers Motorcycle Club. They started off, before that, they were a bicycle club. But anyway, in 1903, they were Yonkers Motorcycle Club. And believe it or not, there have been women bikers right there from day one. There are thousands of MCs of every type riding all around the US nowadays and around the world. But unfortunately, many people wrongly think that women don't rightfully have a place on the set. And nothing could be farther from the truth. So the women, or excuse me, the woman that is considered by most as the pioneer of lady bikers was Bessie Stringfield, who by the tender age of 16 was riding coast to coast all by herself. She actually did it several times. These are impressive feats by today's standard, but to think that she was, at the time, a 16-year-old African-American solo rider is absolutely amazing. And we could talk a lot more about Bessie Stringfield and the incredible life that she led, and lots of other incredible women bikers. But we're going to save that for this episode. But anyway, so that's what we're talking about tonight. Women bikers on the set, what they do on the set. Tate, I want to say a week or two ago, you kind of touched base on it a little bit when we were talking about, you brought up the difference between a PO and an old lady, I think is what you had said.
Yeah.
But there's so much more than that. There's support club members. There's what do they call those? Not support clubs, but they're called social clubs that are all women. There's RCs that are all women.
There's A-Bait.
There's A-Bait, which has a lot of women. In fact, much of the leadership of A-Bait on the state, like in Florida and in other states, a lot of times when you look at either that state or individual chapters, it is not uncommon at all to see women in leadership roles, sometimes more women than men. It's not uncommon. It doesn't even raise an eyebrow anymore. And the funny thing is that
my executive board, there's only 2 men on.
Yeah, what you mean on the chapter level? You mean? Yeah. So you got 2 men and a bunch of women, and guess what? Your chapter is the largest in the state of Florida with over 300. I'm not trying to tell all your business, but I brag about that to folks. Your chapter has over 300 members, and some would argue that's because us men folk don't. Right? I wouldn't argue that. But considering that we're in celebration of International All-Female Ride Day, I'm gonna talk bad about myself as if some woman was here talking trash to me. Now tomorrow I'll go back to being a male chauvinist pig, or toxic masculinity or whatever.
I'm not gonna disclose any information, but I know that's not true.
Yeah,
I got pictures.
You just said Motor Maids, 80 years strong. Motor Maids, yeah, they were one of the first all-female club. Now Yonkers MC was co-ed back in the day, and a number of different ones. Bessie Stringfield actually started. Oh, there's Betty Boop. Hey, what's up, Betty Boop? But Bessie Stringfield actually started the first, or one of the first, motorcycle clubs in the state of Florida, which was Iron Horse MC, and she's the one that started it. That same little Bessie Stringfield that we were talking about from earlier. But having said that, so the phone number to call in, if you're a woman and you're a biker or you're a part of this lifestyle, this is your night. So we definitely want to hear from you. Or if you're a guy and you got something to say about it, give us a call. Phone number is 310-870-8994. So ask some questions, give us some comments. We definitely want to hear from you tonight, because tonight it's all about y'all. But yeah, so speaking of women riders, so in your case, you're actually surrounded, Tate, by women on the set.
Oh yeah.
Like Amber don't count. I mean, obviously Amber doesn't know how to ride motorcycles. She doesn't like motorcycles. She's saying, hey, wait a minute. What she said? Amber said,
not Amber. I was like, clearly she ain't that important if I'm the president. No, who the fuck she is.
Amber says, how about A-Bait from Florida do the same ride one day? That would be cool. That would be friggin' fantastic. In fact, in A-Bait, in any A-Bait, but especially I know for a fact in Florida, not only would that be cool, it's very doable, because the average ride when a chapter gets together looks like it's a woman's ride day, because there's so many damn women that are involved in these different chapters. But that's a heck of a great idea. So Amber, we should definitely talk about doing something like that. I think it would be a heck of a lot of fun, for sure. So matter of fact, get it, Tate, because He knows
I've
about
been,
stuff. He's
oh
afraid of
yeah,
women and stuff, but you know.
yeah, women terrify the shit out of me. And they confuse the fuck out of me. But what will we be without women? Anyways, I mean, face it, we came from a woman.
Are you
Without
getting
our
ready to do
moms, we
Tupac?
wouldn't be here.
You getting ready to do Tupac?
Yeah.
Gotta
Um,
get.
but actually, I've been trying to get A-Bait to do a coast to coast ride for years. Um, and in Florida, it's not that hard. It's only about 100 miles coast to coast.
Say what?
It's only
Oh,
about 100 miles coast to coast.
oh, wait. You mean coast to coast for Florida?
Yeah.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying. For
Yeah, we
A-Bait to
did that.
do a coast to coast ride in the state, I mean, we could get up on one coast, go to bed on the other, and it wouldn't be that bad of a ride. I mean, a couple
Yeah.
hours. You
Some
can't ride a
depending on
couple
where
hours
you
going.
depending on where you're starting and finishing from, but you know that's not a bad idea, and in fact is very doable. But I think what Amber was saying, I think that's a hell of a good idea. Do like a A-Bait Ladies Day or something like that, a A-Bait Ladies Ride. But I think the way to do it would be something like this. It's because Florida's like this long state. I guess what you do is you have everybody from up north plan on coming to Central Florida. Everybody down south plan on coming to Central Florida. Everybody that's already in Central Florida the night before or something like that,
Keep
they
your ass in
go
Central Florida.
they go north or south to they keep it. Hey, we're going to ride together, and here's our destination. So those ladies that left from Central Florida or thereabouts, guess what? They just went back home. Everybody else but the idea is to get together and celebrate whatever it is that chicks celebrate when they get together and they do these international female ride days and stuff. I have no idea because I've seen them leave and like, hey, y'all have a great time, have a great ride, and seen them when they get back in a day or two and like, hey, hope you had a good time. But I don't know what happens in the middle. I heard there's lots of pillow fights. I don't know if that's true. Is it pillow fights going on?
Naked pillow fights.
Naked pillow fights. I heard that's
I
what's
heard about
happening.
that.
Naked
Yeah,
pillow fights on motorcycles.
I heard something about vodka or tequila and naked pillow fights in the middle of the road. I've yet to see it, but
I did Google it, and tequila is involved, and I was advised by a very impressive country singer. He passed away, may he rest in peace. But Toby Keith, I think it was, it said tequila makes all your motorcycle clothes fall off.
yeah.
It was something like that. He said that.
Yeah.
He meant
Something
it.
about when you get together, tequila has to be there.
But I'll tell you what I'm wondering though. I definitely before we finish tonight, I definitely want to hear from some lady bikers. In fact, Amber, if you ain't doing nothing important, I mean, I know you're watching the show, which is hugely important, but call in. I got a question. I want to ask you about how you got started riding, why you started riding, how long you've been riding. I want to ask some questions. Inquiring minds want to know because you've been doing the damn thing. Aztec said, I met some legit women riders. Yeah, there are. I mean, I've met women riders where, in fact, there's this one lady, Ambush, one of the coolest people I've ever met before in my life. She's out of the Central Florida, Orlando area, and she's done a cross country probably 4 times, I'm guessing. But she rides it like she stole it. She always keeps a nice bike, keeps it up and running, and she rides harder than pretty much any guy I know. And I mean, it means nothing to her to ride to Canada because it's Tuesday and she's got a few days off work. Like, I mean,
I'm about it. Let's go.
Yeah,
it ain't that far. I mean, after the 14th.
Joe Krimmer said, "Let's ride." Okay, that's what's up.
That's
Joe.
gonna be my new VP.
Joe Krimmer, where are you located?
He's in Ocala. He's in Ocala.
Okay,
but he's fixing to be my new VP.
Okay, right on.
So promotions are being handed out.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, all right. We see you, Nicole Bell. All right, Nicole Bell's up in Virginia. Good to see you. All right, Amber says Central Florida throws the night before party, food, etc. Since we are riding in, then we ride. Okay, this is a good idea. So when you get a minute, give us a call. We want to talk about it. So I'll tell you. So here we go. Some stuff on Bessie Stringfield. So Bessie Stringfield. I'm not going to read this verbatim or anything, but so she was born in 1911. She was born in 1911. there's some question as to whether or not she was born in North Carolina or Jamaica. Her dad's from Jamaica, and her mom was white uh, from somewhere. I forget where the hell her mother's from somewhere overseas or something. But anyway, uh, but uh, but Bessie Stringfield, she got her first motorcycle, Indian Scout. That was in 1928, and I want to say it was her uncle that gave her that bike. And so in 1930, by the age of 19, she had already, at this point, she had already circumnavigated the United States a couple of times. She made 7 more long distance trips in the United States. Eventually, she rode through all 48 lower states. She didn't hit Alaska, didn't hit Hawaii, but the other 48 states, she hit every one of them. She rode through Europe, Brazil, Haiti, and during this time, she earned money performing motorcycle stunts in carnival shows. Due to her skin color, Stringfield was often denied accommodation while traveling, so she would sleep on her motorcycle at gas stations. And due to her sex, she was refused prizes in flat track races that she entered, even though she won. So there's a couple of famous pictures of Bessie Stringfield next to a cornfield, laying on her motorcycle, wearing a little white ice cream man looking outfit and stuff like that. And that's how she used to do. Because back in the day, you couldn't stay everywhere. A lot of places, being black and a woman by herself, she couldn't stay in a hotel. Like, it wasn't like there was no was no Super 8 that was going to open their doors and say, "Come on in," But she was doing some incredible things during the war, World War II. She worked for the post office, and she also became a courier, delivering very vital military intelligence, sometimes behind enemy lines, sometimes from one unit to another unit. When something was super important and it had to get done, she was sort of like FedEx when it absolutely positively had to be there overnight.
She was the Pony Express of her time.
Yeah, she was the Pony Express of her time, and she was getting it in, and she did that for many a years. In fact, in the 1950s, Springfield, she moved to Miami. This is a big one. She moved to Miami in the 1950s, where she was told the N-word women are not allowed to ride motorcycles, and she was told that by the local police. So after repeatedly being pulled over, harassed, smacked around, beat up a few times, she visited the police captain. They went to a nearby park, and she proved her riding abilities to that captain. So she gained the captain's approval to ride and didn't have any trouble from the police after that. But to think she had to go through those lengths, that was in the 1950s, which wasn't that long ago if you think about it. She qualified as a nurse, so she did some nursing also while during the war. But she's the founder of the Iron Horse Motorcycle Club. Her skill and antics at motorcycle shows gained the attention of the local press, leading to the nickname that she's still referred to today when people talk about her. Well, back then they called her, in the newspaper, they called her the Negro motorcycle owner, or the Negro motorcycle queen. But that turned into the motorcycle queen of Miami, that's the name that she's still known by today. When you go to Miami, you talk to any woman, doesn't matter what race she is. If you're in South Florida, women riders all know who Bessie Stringfield is, because it's sort of like that was some incredible stuff that this woman went through just so she could ride her motorcycle. She had a passion for it. But there have been books written about her, and there was talk a few years ago about making a movie about her. And the funny thing is, when Paramount was talking about making the movie, the thing that kept coming up was, it's not very believable. As in, this is real shit that happened, but nobody would believe that it happened. Nah, that didn't happen. I mean, it did happen, obviously, but they felt like it wouldn't be believable. However, they did do a thing on Bass Reeves. If you don't know about Bass Reeves is this black guy who was the first black U.S. Marshal and a whole bunch of other stuff. He's the guy that the Lone Ranger was based on, because he actually spoke several different dialects and languages of Native Americans, and he had a partner who was a Native American who used to go out with him. And he had a white horse and the whole thing, and he would wear disguises sometimes to sneak up on the bad guys and catch them, going to cover as some poor black guy or some this or some that or some other thing. So if you remember, the Lone Ranger used to wear a mask. So the whole thing was based on Bass Reeves. So good for Paramount. They did They did do the story about Bass Reeves, or the series, I should say, which is pretty good. I watched it, but man, it would be cool to check out something on Bessie Stringfield. So, I bet you it would be some interesting stuff. Nicole Bell says a movie about, oh, here you go. Yeah, okay. She said a movie about her would be fabulous. I absolutely agree. And Aztec said, amen, Nicole. I don't know. Is somebody praying? Did we miss that whole thing? So Bruce
Church.
said 1950s is my grandparents' generations. Not that long ago. History matters. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what's
Hey,
up.
you
Yeah,
know a director and a producer,
I do. Oh shoot.
and
Yeah, I
you're
do.
in South Florida.
Dude, I
Just
swear,
saying.
see, that's why I fuck with you, bro, because you come up with some good that's actually true. I would have talked to these cats and see if they want to do it.
And I mean, you
But
need some extras.
yeah, look, this movie that we're doing now is a bear as far from a production standpoint. It's so I would hope that they would be interested in it, but the biker movie, the biker part of this movie which it's a biker movie, but that's been a challenge to say the least. But I think
Yeah.
it would be a hell of a good thing, man. That would be really cool. So, well, let me ask you this. Here's what I was going to ask you about, Tate. So, you work with a lot of, and through ABATE, you've been in ABATE for a long time. Um, as you talk to these different women, so first of all, when you go, we'll say your chapter, when you guys do something, are the women riding, or is everybody just on the back seat?
Probably about 50-50.
Okay.
We
And by
got
the way,
some.
nothing wrong with being on the back seat. I'm just curious.
No. Probably about 50-50. Most that are riding on the back are old ladies. My treasurer, however, her husband's got some health issues to where he can't ride anymore.
Yeah.
So she actually went out and bought a Can-Am, and she rides, and he gets on the back, which is still
Okay.
cool
Wow.
because he enjoys getting out. But no, we're about
Right on.
50-50. The hardest thing is to explain to these people that yes, you're a female, and yes, you can own a motorcycle. Yes, you can ride with us.
Yeah. Because so what's happened over the years, what Tate's referring to is there are clubs now. It's been going on for quite a while, but at some point about the 1940s, 1950s, clubs that used to be co-ed, in fact, all clubs back then were co-ed clubs, with the exception of like the Motor Maids, which they were all women. Uh, but most clubs were co-ed clubs back in the day. So about the 1940s or so, 1940s, 1950s, where clubs started becoming, well, really 1940s. Let me say it correctly. The early 1940s is where we saw a lot of this, where a club was all men. Not all clubs, but that's when the big trend of where MC means man's club, so we're all men, and like that.
Oh
And
yeah.
so now we flash forward, we're in 2024, and if you're a one percenter club or outlaw MC, it's unheard of to have females in that organization. It's just not something that you do, and that's happened for so long that and there's rules on the set as far as women clubs and what they can wear and what they don't wear. I'm speaking as far as patch setups and like that. But so that's been going on for a little while now. But again, there's legit solid. In fact, one particular club is what do they call there in North Florida? Leather and Lace. Leather and Lace
Yep.
is the largest female motorcycle club in the world right now, and they've been around for. Let me see. I want to say this. So like 30 years, something like that. They've been around about
Damn.
30. Yeah, yeah, about 30 years, I guess. And the thing is they started off as just a group of women in North Florida, got together. They wanted to ride, and by having the correct backing and the founder of that club, she married the right guy, and she married the other right guy, and a lot of things happened there. But with the support of the dominants that were in the area, she was able to grow that thing from just a little women's riding group to a RC, ultimately to a MC, and in the process of that happening, it spread and grew and grew and grew and grew, and now they have chapters and all over the United States, obviously, but all over the world. And guess what? They do their thing. They do the same stuff that the guys do. Uh, some of them just are prettier when they're doing it, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Deuce, you're absolutely correct. I wasn't going to go into all of the details of it, but you're absolutely correct, including the names. Uh, but yeah, so you got clubs like Leather and Lace. I mentioned Motor Maids. There's just in Florida, there's a bunch, a lot of really respectful. In fact, if you're a woman and you're watching, give us a how, give us a shout. Let us know who you are, and so we can talk about you. All good stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty impressive thing. But let me get to my question. So, or my next question rather. So you're saying about 50% of these women that are in the about half of them are in the back seat, half of them are riding their own. The ones that ride their own, I mean, is it the kind of thing where they're just going to ride to the clubhouse or to church that month, or are they getting it in, like riding on a regular basis? Are they breaking state lines? Are they getting outside of their own county?
I know
Worried
there's
about breaking
two
their
for sure that go to every state meeting with us. So they're breaking county lines. I don't think they're breaking state lines.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we're in the middle of the fucking state, so
yeah, right.
People I ride with ain't about that life.
right.
They'd have took 2 days to get to fucking Panama City, and I made it in 5.5 hours. So, but I mean, they're definitely getting it in. At least 2 of them for sure, because they're riding with me when they're doing it, and they can keep up. I'm not gonna say how fast anybody goes, but we don't have any issues.
Now, there's this girl, Holly, Holly Hill, cool as all get out. And we were doing we were riding to Tallahassee. And this was on some political stuff. And so we were riding to Tallahassee to go have it out with some elected officials. And on the way, I'm leading this pack, and they're different folks. I mean, there were a few club members there. There was ABATE, some COC folks. It was a mix of people, a lot of independents and like that. We had business owners and
that was the run right before our tally ride last year.
Yeah. Right. That's what it was. And so we're going up, and I remember thinking to myself, good God, who taught these people how to ride? And there was this one certain woman who was and we weren't riding what we call bar to bar suicide formation. That's where you're riding and somebody's directly to your right, and your front tire lines up with their front tire, or your butt lines up with their butt, but you're riding side by side in the same lane. And so we weren't normally, that's how me and my folks ride. They weren't doing that. They wanted to go in a staggered formation. So a staggered formation is sort of like the one bike is here, next bike is here. So his back tire is going to line up with your front tire, thereabouts, give or take a little bit. But basically, you maintain your position. You're not going to pull up here, go past them, and then fall way back here or anything like that, because everybody behind you gets screwed up when you do that, right? So you maintain your position sort of like this the whole way, right? That's the idea. But this woman who was riding next to me couldn't get it right. She'd speed up real fast and go way far in front of me. Then she'd slow down and fall way back. And this was the whole time. And I won't lie, I was thinking, geez, these damn women bikers, look at that. And after the gas station, I said, all right. And because I was leading the pack. So I said, all right, at this point, I'm like, I got to get I'm looking around, trying to get somebody to jump in front of her, or, change the ride, because she was making me nuts. So anyway, I saw that her bike was back a little bit, didn't know who the person was that basically took her spot. And whoever that person was, all Ninja Turtled out, like had on the helmet, and this and that, and the gloves. And so you couldn't differentiate who that person was. But we got to riding, and it was pretty hot out. So we're riding, and whoever this person was, man, I mean, this person was riding great. He hit some curves, boom. In the curves, out of the curves, sped up appropriately, slowed down appropriately. There was something that fell off the back of a truck, boom, went around it perfectly. I'm like, man, that dude can ride. That dude can really ride. So when we hit the next gas station, the next stop for gas, I'm like, man, I'm going to go over there and tell that dude, I like the way he gets down, and I really appreciate the fact that that I don't have some woman riding next to me no more. And so that dude pulled off his helmet, and it was Holly Hill. It wasn't a dude at all. I was like, the hell is going on right now? So we still
Damn.
had that conversation. And she's just telling me, hey, yeah, I ride my motorcycle, and that's that person there is not indicative of all women. You know, there's a dumbass, there's always a dumbass no matter what their gender. And I'm thinking at this late point in my life, something that I should have known already, I was reminded of really greatly, because I went from riding next to the worst rider, who happened to be a woman, to riding next to one of the best riders, who just happened to be a woman. And but yeah, so Holly Hill, if you're listening, if you're not listening, you should be, and that's a whole other conversation. But if you are listening, I definitely appreciate you, and a happy International Female Ride Day, a day late, whatever. But yeah, Holly Hill, she's with Llama, Latin American Motorcycle Association, which they have a lot of women. In fact, they have a thing. If I'm probably going to say the wrong numbers, but they have an actual designation. So pretty much anybody can join Llama. They've got like some rules and stuff like any other club as to how you become a member. But if you're a woman and you're riding your own motorcycle for real, okay, there's women. Hey, you're a Llama, no problem, just like everybody else. But then they have something called the Damas de la Lamas, which is like the ladies of. That's a special designation, a special patch, and you've got to do, like, in order to get that patch, you got to do like 10,000 miles and some other stuff, showing that you actually not only do you know how to ride, but you're going to put some miles on that bike. You're going to get it in. You have to show proficiency of the lifestyle and riding your motorcycle and all the stuff that goes along with that. So I love the fact that Llama actually recognizes these females, because they're not just saying, oh yeah, I ride a bike. They're saying, I don't just ride, I ride well. And I got this to prove it. And they do not give those things out just like anybody can just have it or whatever like that. Yeah. What's this? Dude said, I may not be woke, but he's 100% legit when it comes to women. Well, thank you for saying so. Miami would disagree, but but I appreciate hearing that. Let's see. Andrea Canito says, is that always a requirement in any club? No, the requirements vary in all kinds of different clubs, because there's so many different types of clubs. There's co-ed clubs where there's men and women in the same exact club. There's situations where it's the same club, but they have a woman's side and a man's side. Even though they might do stuff together, their patches might look slightly different. And then with the all women club, they have a whole different thing that are group requirements that are necessary to join that club. Llama has as a result of being a co-ed club, they simply have a special designation for women who have identified themselves as being, excellent riders. So that's just something special that Llama does. And Mike House was saying, being from New York, now in Florida, the first male and female club I saw were the Rough Riders. Perfect, a great example. I really didn't know about all female clubs until I moved down here. Yeah. And the funny thing is that the first not the first, but a number of the first all female clubs actually came out of New York. And that happened as a result, way back in the day, because the first motorcycle club ever in the United States came out of Yonkers, New York. And there were women that were riding with that club. And just like everything else in New York, somebody said, we could do this better. We could do this better than them. So, of course, folks went on and made their own motorcycle clubs. And some of those clubs were all women clubs. But yeah, so Andrea, I see Andrea, and you're welcome for the explanation. Wondering, Andrea, do you ride a motorcycle? And if so, what are you riding? And
I can answer that.
Okay.
She's a passenger.
Okay. All right. Right on. So does she ever steal her man's motorcycle? Andrea, are you a thief? I mean, have you ever stolen your man? I mean, have you ever borrowed your
Borrowed.
You ever borrowed a motorcycle
Allegedly.
without permission?
No.
Okay. She says she's too short. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. But anyway, so Tate, who is your favorite female biker?
Rider or biker?
Both. Favorite female that you know is riding a motorcycle.
That's a hard one.
Well, Andrea says there's no man in her life. Well, keep fucking around on the big boneyard, and these fellas will fix that.
We'll get her a groupie before long.
Yeah, it won't take too long. Go to the big boneyard page and say, "Yeah, I'm Andrea. I'm the one that don't have a man." 24 hours later, you'll be all hooked up. But no, so who's your two? Favorite biker woman and favorite rider? Backpack, or we used to say riding bitch. I don't know if we're supposed. I'm old, so I still say riding bitch. But nowadays in 2024, it's politically correct to say she's your backpack or she's your passenger, or it doesn't sound as bikerish to me though.
That's a hard one. I'd actually have to actually sit down and think about that.
Okay, let me do it like this. Gun to your head. If you had to have a passenger that's not your significant other, gun to your head, who would it be? What do you mean you're pleading the fifth? All right, never mind. All right. What about? Let's talk about Brandy. Brandy, okay. She's the state secretary of ABATE and treasurer. That's right. She's the state treasurer for ABATE in Florida, and she's got a slingshot, and she's got a motorcycle, and she's got a truck, and she's got other things with wheels on them. And the thing that makes me crazy about Brandy is you never know which thing she's going to show up in.
Man.
Yeah. And I know sometimes, and I get it, with her being she's the secretary, right? With her being the treasurer, I always get that wrong. With her being the treasurer, she's always carrying stuff, which kind of sucks because if you're always carrying stuff and the amount of stuff that she carries, you can't do that on a bike. But
she loads that fucking slingshot down though.
Yeah. I've seen that before. But have you ridden with her a lot? No.
Behind her, if she's in a truck, maybe a little bit. In front of her, if she's in a truck. I've never actually ridden with her.
All right. Let's plan on getting her on the show. Matter of fact, let's do this. In the next couple of weeks, let's do a show where we get a bunch of women bikers and riders. We get them on the show. And we're going to just kind of pick their brains and find out what's going on up there. Like, what made you, woman, decide to jump on this motorcycle? Let me rephrase that. What made this presumably innocent woman decide to jump on a tank of flammable liquid with a motor under it, with two wheels, no doors, no roof, no seat belts, and then do 50 to 95 miles an hour on a highway with giant trucks and drunk drivers and all this other stuff, knowing full well that you might break your nail or worse? I want to know the answer to that question.
Do you want riders or do you want backpacks? Because I can get you some.
I want all of the above.
I can try to get them in the next week because next weekend is Mother's Day weekend.
That sounds good. All right. So let's work on that. Well, hey, there you go. For Mother's Day weekend, that's the time to do it. Andrea, you're in? Okay. Andrea's saying she's in. Matter of fact, Andrea, give us a call right now. What are you doing? The phone number is 310-870-8994 because I got some questions. Yep. Andrea says, riding bitch. That's her saying too. Because that means we're grown-ups.
Looking under the light? What the fuck?
All right, she said
Aztec's trying to fucking hold a light to me, I guess.
What he said, damn Tate, you're looking under the light? Well, yeah, I was gonna say you were out in the sun a little bit, so you looked you got a little biker tan going on there.
I left here at 3:00 Friday.
Yeah.
Made it to Panama City Beach I think it was about like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Um, rode around till 3 in the morning.
Right on.
Left the hotel about 11:30 and didn't get back until about 11.
Mm.
And then rode home today. So yeah. I mean, when you're by the water, shit happens.
Hey, I'll tell you my favorite, one of my favorite lady bikers who actually legit does, and this will surprise you. I might have mentioned this in like an old show or something, but believe it or not, Queen Latifah. So Queen Latifah, if you ever look at her, she has a crack in her forehead like this. And that crack is from a motorcycle accident. You can Google all this stuff is public information. She wears a key around her neck most of the time, like when you not in her movies and stuff, but actually on her TV show, you've seen it a few times where she's wearing a chain. She's got a key on it. Well, what that is that's the key to the motorcycle that her brother died on. Her brother was a New York City police detective, and he died on a motorcycle. She had that motorcycle. She recovered the motorcycle, had it rebuilt, and she used to ride that motorcycle all the time. Ultimately, she had a motorcycle accident. I don't think it was on the same bike, but she had a motorcycle accident, thus the crack in her head. But she's been riding motorcycles for a really long time, so much to the point where she had a video. She made a song called Unity, U-N-I-T-Y, U-N-I-T-Y. It's a Unity. That's from the 80s. But anyway, it was a real cool song. But in that video, she was riding her motorcycle, the motorcycle that she owned. Like, because, nowadays people rent everything. When they're making a video, they rent the Lambo and they rent this and rent that. She was riding her own shit. But yeah, she's heavy into bikes. She's on a TV show now called The Equalizer, which her motorcycle is a big part of that show, as in she's always riding her motorcycle, or a lot anyway. They even did an episode last year called One Percenter, where she had a case involving this One Percenter motorcycle club. And they made her, at the end of the show, they made her an honorary member, and they gave her they gave her some rags, so she's got her vest and she jumps on. And it was a little like unrealistic in the sense that she's an honorary member. She jumps on and goes leading the pack off, and they go riding off into the sunset or whatever. So in real life, that would have never happened, but it was cool. She's like a lot of us. We got a motorcycle. We got to include that in whatever the hell we're doing.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, I'm involved in a movie just so I could ride my damn motorcycle on TV.
So are we riding to that big event that you're eventually going to have? Because if not, I'm going to have to go there and identify your body.
Oh, wait, you mean that all-female ride thing?
No. Are we riding to that event you're going to have eventually, or somebody in this chat is going to annihilate you and I'm going to have to identify your body?
I'm going to do whatever is necessary to keep me undead.
So you're getting married?
The what now?
You're getting married?
Oh, is that the event you're talking about?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, shit. My bad. Hold that thought. And yeah, but hold on. Hey, hello, and thank you for calling the Big Bone Yard. This is Big Bone One Percenter, and you're on here with myself and Tate from A-Bay. Who's calling us?
Oh, this is Termite, Andrea.
Oh, Andrea. So is that your road name, Termite?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it is.
I like that even better.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, well, that's what's up. Well, look, thank you for calling me or calling us. So, and giving me the opportunity to get my nosy on. So here's.
Well, hell yeah. Let's do it.
Hold on. Disclaimer. Anything she says is a lie.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'll put my hand on that big Bible, too.
Okay. All right. So are you ready to answer some questions?
I can do that. What's up?
Are you sure?
Woo-hoo. I'm very positive.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, no, actually, what I want to know, first of all, how long have you been riding?
I haven't rode.
Okay.
Are you talking being big? Or
Okay. All right. So
being big?
no. Okay. So you're riding on the back. So you've been doing that for a while.
Exactly.
So here's the thing now.
Since I was 16. Yeah.
Okay. So were you always crazy, or that's like you were crazy
Always
a little
crazy.
bit? Okay. Always crazy. Because,
No. I'm always crazy.
because I'll tell you what, I've ridden all kinds of motorcycles. I've used to race motorcycles and everything else. And one time in an emergency situation, I had to, and not proud of this, but I had to jump on the back of a motorcycle in an emergency situation with a guy, you know, and I'm like,
Ooh.
like I'm pushed back like way this far and everything because, you know, I don't believe in no nut to butt riding, you know, it's against my religion. But here's the thing.
Of that.
Yeah, you'll never see it. The guy that did have a picture, he mysteriously had a funeral the next day, and they lost his phone because of the fact that, you know, allegedly. No, but the thing is, though, is I remember we hit the highway, and you know, got up to about 95, and you might as well have just shot me in the head dead because this was a terrifying thing to me. Now, if I'm the one that's doing it, no problem, fine. If I'm riding my own, no problem, you know, right? But the idea of like not being the one who's actually doing it. So how do you reconcile that in your head?
I just roll with it. I enjoy the wind therapy. I don't think about being on the back. I just go. I know there's been a lot of ladies that I've spoken with in years that it terrifies them. And I'm like, why does that terrify you? Well, because I can't see. I said, well, if I'm going to die, I don't want to see it anyway.
Right. Good point. That actually makes sense. Think about it. Nobody wants to see that coming. All right. I got you. All right. So,
yeah.
So being a part, so considering you've been riding since you're 16, there's a certain, and it sounds like you're still doing it. So there's a certain, there's the MC culture. You know, we're going to go to biker bars, we're going to go to rallies and events and stuff like that. So you do all of that stuff too?
I would love to if I can be on the back of a bike. You know, if somebody would take me, I'd be more than happy to go.
Okay, gotcha.
Kate, you know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so your situation is you dig the whole scene. You just haven't had enough of an opportunity to be involved in it because, all right, no problem. We're going to auction you off by tomorrow. So by
we got a state meeting in your backyard.
Oh yeah, that's right. So state meetings in June 8th, I want to say. I'm supposed to know this stuff. So we've got a state meeting coming up on June 8th. That is going to be it's a state meeting, and then after the state meeting is a big ass party. Everybody and their freaking mother is going to be there. So you make sure you're there no matter what. And what we'll do between now and then, Tate's going to get you a back seat somewhere. He knows all folks.
He won't.
Yeah, no, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that.
Okay.
Look,
you're
officially a bonehead. You're officially a bonehead. So we gotta hook that up for you. We gotta hook that up for you.
Hell yeah! I like being a bonehead. Let's do it.
Right on. Right on. Okay. All right. So wait, give me that road name one more time. Is Termite?
Yeah. Termite.
That is way cool. All right, I'm digging that. Termite. Well, listen, thank you for calling, and we're gonna hold Tate accountable for us to get this together for you.
Yeah. Hey, Tate, you're the prez. You're held accountable, buddy.
Hold on. Hey. I got a question. Who's the best president in the state of Florida?
Who's the best president?
Obama.
Florida? That would be you. That would be you.
Tate says
well.
Tate says he disagrees. He says he thinks it was Obama, but I'm like, no, we're talking about something different. We're not talking about that. We're talking about.
Are we talking about? Wait a minute. Are we talking about president?
No.
Are we talking about?
No, I just said that because I know where Tate is, and Jim, if he says something like that, he won't be the president too much longer where he is.
Nope.
He'll be like, he said what?
What?
But hey, Termite, listen, stay plugged in, keep watching. Watch us every week. We do this on Sundays, but between now and well before it's time for that state meeting, we're gonna have you hooked up. This is the Big Boneyard.
Let's do it. Auction me off.
Look, this is the Big Boneyard dating program. So no problem. We're gonna hook it up. And then next week, be around for next week too, because we're gonna try to put together some ladies that have actually on the show with us next week. And just kind of talk about a lot of things that's something. And funny you say that, but every year Mother's Day, we usually do a woman related show. It was interesting because of International Female Ride Day. We just had to jump on the subject this week, but it's a cool thing. We'll keep it going.
All right.
Yeah,
absolutely. I will. I'll tune in.
Hey, Ghost Eagle says,
Check this out.
"Howdy, termite, ma'am." See, it's already starting. It's already starting.
Damn.
All right.
Start the bidding off at
I'm
$100.
old enough, but
Hey,
don't call me ma'am.
Quick question. Clinton Lund.
Hello.
Clinton Lund, termite. Real quick. Clinton Lund says, "How did you get that road name?"
Playing softball,
The what?
breaking back.
Say that again.
I played softball when I was a child,
Yeah.
all the way up until I was, in my 20s. I was breaking back.
Oh, for real? Oh, okay. So you got
for real.
You got some badass traits there. Okay. I knew. See, that's why I love road
I may
names.
be tiny, but dynamite comes in tiny packages.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ghost
So
Eagle
I
says.
said hello.
Ghost Eagle said to tell you it's about respect, not your age. Okay. And he says he's a Southern gentleman.
Okay.
And
Ooh,
I see.
all right.
Love is in
Well,
the
hello
air.
there, Mr. Southern.
Oh boy. All right. So look, we might have to exchange some phone numbers, but I'll tell you what, termite, listen, keep riding with us, and we got some good things coming up for you. So there.
Hey, let's play them. I'm ready.
Matter of fact, what we ought to
I'm
do, we got to get you one of those big boneyard T-shirts. Speaking of which, so we've got all kinds of swag that's available, and I really need to. We need to make sure.
I'm trying to get a fucking big boneyard T-shirt.
Man, we got a bunch of swag in. We got the T-shirts, some what do you call it? Hoodies, some T-shirts, the lady tank tops with the tank tops for the ladies, and the shorts, and all kinds of really cool stuff we got going on. So we got to get you some of that stuff.
Well, we'll hold Tate to that. He's got to grab that.
All right, Tate. Well, look, termite. Listen, you have a great night. We're going to be signing off here in just a little bit, but thank you very much for calling in, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, you will. I appreciate it. Thank you very much
you
for
have a great
allowing me
night.
on the air.
No problem. Hey, that was fun. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was Termite, who we just met. SNS said, well, I just met, but SNS says being a Southerner and military, he does the same. Okay, right on. Well, I'll tell y'all what. Oh, by the way, if you didn't hit the like button already, take a minute, hit the like button. I help a brother out. That type of thing.
Like, share, subscribe,
all of that.
Send it to all your friends.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you never know who's going to be interested.
But I tell y'all what, this has been a hell of a week. This weekend has been insane. I hope y'all were out riding and doing some stuff this weekend. And we definitely want to hear about what, if anything, y'all had going on over the course of the weekend by next weekend. But in the meantime, hey, peace, love, and hair grease. We had a great night. Always love talking to y'all.
Hold on. Are you going to be back by next Sunday?
Yeah. Yep.
Because you'll be in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be in Kansas City next week. But yeah, I'll be back.
Okay.
I'll be back. I don't ordinarily announce troop movements like the when and the where, but yes, I will be back.
Well,
I'll be sitting right back here. In fact, I think we're going to start 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, midnight, something. But no, I'll be back for next week's show for sure. Matter of fact, I'm really excited about that too, because I get to share a lot of the stuff that happened there. Because Incom is going to be that's going to be real cool. But anyway, I'll tell y'all what. So Tate, what if anything you got to say to the folks tonight?
Support everybody. Support your club. Support A-Bait. Support anybody that throws their leg over a saddle. And just a little note to Brandy: if it's got a steering wheel and fucking seatbelts, it's a goddamn car.
Right on. Look, we're gonna get it, Brandy. Anybody who knows Brandy, send her this show so that she knows we were talking about her ass. And the next time we see her in something with wheels, it better not have more than 2. But in the meantime, so I'm Big Bone 1%er. That there's Tate, and we appreciate y'all riding with the Big Boneyard tonight. We're gonna see y'all again in about 7 whole days. Peace out, y'all.
Welcome to the Big Boneyard. Enter at your own risk.
I decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.